Mic check one, two.
Yo, get out of here with them weak ass shoes, yo.
Balls deep. I'm talking about balls deep. I'm talking about balls deep in love. I'm talking about balls deep. I'm talking about balls deep. I'm talking about balls deep in love.
What's up, Balls Deep fam, to another edition of Balls Deep with Devin Jovan, where we dive balls deep into the hottest stories in sports. On today's episode, Jovan and I conducted our second interview with another member of the Central Connecticut State University football team. If you have yet to tune into our first interview with CCSU wide receiver Tyshawn James, I recommend you do so. Today, Jovan and I will be joined by a 2023 NFL prospect and standout cornerback from CCSU, Dexter Lawson Jr. The kid exudes confidence, leadership, and accountability, and you'll notice it throughout the interview. It's contributed to CCSU's success on the field, and it is a big reason why he's dominated the Northeast Conference thus far in his collegiate career. I mean, in 2019, he was named Sophomore All-American, and he made the All-NEC second team. So the kid has talent. He's bound for great things, and just go show love to his social media pages and follow him throughout this journey to make his dreams come true, and that's ultimately to be in the NFL. And we think he can do it. He has the right mindset. He has the talent to go with it, and it's it was an honor and pleasure to have him on the show. The kid is he's humble, and Jovan and I can't wait to meet him. But just FYI, we were dealing with technical difficulties prior to the interview. So if you're tuning in on YouTube, you'll notice a slight difference in our setup. But if you're listening in, you won't notice the difference. We won't skip a beat, I promise you. But if you like what you hear, and you like what you see, make sure to like, follow, and subscribe to us on all platforms. And even leave us a review on iTunes. We'd appreciate it. But let me stop talking, and let's get to the interview. On today's episode, we have another interview for you. And we're joined by Central Connecticut State cornerback Dexter Lawson Jr. Appreciate you for joining us.
Appreciate y'all for having me.
Similar to what we did with Tyshawn, we just want to get to know you as a person, your story. So I guess to start it off is just tell us about your upbringing. How did you get introduced to football? How did it come into your life?
I'm from Bloomfield, Connecticut, right outside of Hartford, Connecticut. Actually, my first sport was, because I come from a Jamaican background, so my first sport was actually soccer. And soccer is during football season. So, you know what I'm saying? So, and the way the town was, our soccer practice and football practice is on almost the same field, just it had a sidewalk that kind of divides the two. So all the friends that I go to school with, they played football and I was playing soccer. So I always see them when we're at practice and stuff. And then, in recess, we'll always play football together. So I always had I was always a natural at football, so I was always good. I was always athletic and things like that. So a lot of my friends was like, you might as well just come play football, come try it out, And at first, it wasn't the physicality that scared me. I just didn't like getting dirty. I hated getting on the ground and getting muddy. I hated getting my hands dirty. But so that first, I think I was 7 when I first played with a Mighty Mice or whatever. And I was it was second nature as soon as I got on the field. As soon as that ball was put in my hand, nobody could touch me. And I didn't like being touched either. So it was it was easy for me to evade defenders and things like that and not get tackled. So I think football just came so naturally.
Well, I'm assuming just from the tape that I've watched and everything like that, you've grown out of that because you definitely seem to be a physical on the field.
Yeah, for sure. Now I like to get down and dirty now for sure, because I like the physical. I've grown to adapt and like the physical nature of football and kind of just imposing your will on the opponent. And I think that's one of the biggest things about football and why it separates people from other sports, because it's just that physicality that other people can't get with.
So you said you play soccer. So my question to you is, what, besides obviously natural athleticism, what did you carry over from soccer to football?
My feet, like nobody is touching my feet. Like my feet is so quick and so smooth, and I think that is because of my soccer background, and in soccer is constant cutting, constant change of direction, constant moving with your feet, and there's a lot of drills and stuff, and I feel like that all translates to football with just having quick feet and being able just to move in and out uh, different cuts and things like that. So like when I went to football, I was able to just juke and go change the direction so easily and so effortlessly at a more advanced level than everybody that was playing with me. And I think that is because of my soccer background. And I played basketball too, so I did get a lot of kind of with the hesitations and crossing over and things like that. That's all into football too when it comes to juking and things like that, and just being instinctive on the field. I think that comes from basketball as well.
So you would say that you ultimately chose football over soccer and basketball because of the camaraderie with your friends?
Yeah, well, for soccer for sure. Basketball, it was more. I kind of like held on to basketball way longer than I held on to soccer. Like I didn't stop playing basketball until I didn't stop taking basketball seriously until um like my junior, maybe senior year of high school. Even now, I still like joke around and say I'm a football player. I'm a basketball player that just plays that's good at football. Like I love basketball. I love playing basketball. I kind of love the way the game is, how you can, just go on your own and just get better with absolutely nobody else with you. And I just like basketball just because everybody's just looking at you like all the time. And that one-on-one matchup, those one-on-one type of opportunities. And I feel like that's why I love corner because, we're always constantly matched up against the wide receiver. And those are like the one-on-ones of basketball that are in football. And that's kind of like what everybody now is starting to like, and where the game is going. The game is becoming more of a passing game. And those are like the more
Yeah.
matchups that everybody is looking forward to. So I think that competitive nature and that whole one-on-one atmosphere is what I love and what I drive off of. And that's what transition from basketball to football for me.
Nice. So you were saying that well, to you, basketball is like something that you've kind of always had at the top of your list in terms of like the sports you like to play. So ultimately, what was it that kind of made you decide you wanted to start taking football more seriously than basketball?
I would say just being more understanding and being more realistic with myself as far as how far my future is and where I have more potential in, what field I have more potential in. And I know basketball, I'm 5'10", like just reality, I'm only 5'10". So it's like I'm not the shortest guy 9 times out of 10 is probably like 6'3", 6'2" on the court. So it's like it's just that, and I wasn't really getting much. I had some college looks at basketball, but nothing. Nothing. No, I never had any D1 colleges. Like I had D2 and stuff like that, but I didn't. I just knew like which field had a higher ceiling, and it was football. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna just go ahead and stick with this and kind of just put all my eggs into this and kind of let basketball be the past and kind of let that be some things I play around with on my off time. But football is going to be my main thing. Football is going to be who I am.
So name some of your accolades in your high school football career. You were a two-time All-Conference selection. You were twice named All-State, two-time state champion. You were team MVP and defensive back of the year winner. And you were a four-time winner of the Student Athlete Award. So, of those accolades, is there one that stands out to you in particular?
Out of all those accolades, I think the one that I feel like means the most to me is just winning the championship 2 times back to back from 2 different schools. Sophomore year, I had one with Capital Prep, and then I had transferred over to my hometown, Bloomfield, and then it was just so much adversity within that year, my junior year, from being I had to miss 5 games because of my transfer, and I was trying to appeal it and everything, and the state just wouldn't let me play those 5 games, and then coming back and then making an impact as soon as those 5 games were up, and then being able to come out victorious and win the championship. I mean, like, I wouldn't trade that experience for anything. And just to be able to win it with my hometown at that, like, and my hometown hadn't won in a while before then. So just to be able to, bring that winning energy and that winning spirit back to the field, back to my hometown, I feel like that's probably like one of my biggest achievements as far as high school goes. And I know that championship, that kind of set the tone for the younger guys that were after us. Because I know my senior year, we ended up losing first round of playoffs. But the year after that, I didn't think they did too good. But that following year, which were the freshmen that were there in my senior year, they kind of understood like what the winning mentality needed to be, and we kind of set the blueprint for them. So they ended up winning that next year. So I feel like that achievement definitely is probably one of the highest as far as high school goes.
And speaking of your high school career, obviously full of like great achievements and stuff like that. And going from like a D1 college and CCSU, what was like the biggest difference between playing high school ball and then going to college and having to play, D1 football against, really talented people? What was like the biggest difference? What were some of the biggest challenges of transferring from high school football to college football?
Obviously, I would say the biggest difference for anybody that would tell you that plays college football, the biggest difference from high school is the speed is like super fast, or like, everything is happening at a very fast pacing, because you got to understand that everybody is there for a reason. Like, there's nobody that's just playing just to be playing. Like, everybody is trying to play to either go somewhere. The coaches are coaching to put food on their family's plate, or to move up in the position, and players are playing to try to have a shot at the next level. So everything, you're all coming. Everybody was like the man on their team, the star on their team. So now it's like everybody's the star, and now you have a whole bunch of stars around you. So everything is just moving at a way faster pace. And I feel like the guys who were able to adapt the fastest had the better career, or a more longer career in college. And I feel like that's kind of what stuck out with me, and why I was able to start as a freshman, because I was able just to adapt to the speed and kind of break down and be able to learn fast on the fly. That first camp, I was able to learn everything that I needed to learn for the first game, and just being able to make myself comfortable in an uncomfortable situation. And I feel like I held myself to that standard just to be able to, I went in there with the mindset like I'm nothing less than starting. Like, I have to start this season. Like, no matter what, there's no reason why I can't do it. So it's like I just have to go out there and find a way to do it for myself. And I feel like I was able to go in there and adapt to the speed, get to learn the playbook, get a feel for how the coaches coach and how the team just is a team, and just get a feel for college football itself. And I did that at a very high pace, other than faster than a lot of other freshmen, and I was able to, start my freshman year.
So, just to dial it back a little bit, prior to your freshman year, from my understanding from the research that I did on you, was CCSU offered you like a scholarship originally, and you turned it down, and then you eventually accepted it down the road. So, what was the difference from the first time when you made your decision to the second, and why you chose CCSU?
Yeah. CCSU had offered me when I was coming out of Bloomfield, and the offer, it was good. It was an offer, and not to dumb it down, but I just had higher expectations for myself, and I felt like I was worth a little bit more than what was being offered. So I had went and took my chances, and did a fifth year at St. Thomas More up in Oakdale, Connecticut, and try to get more exposure, because my sophomore year, my senior year at Bloomfield, I was playing quarterback, so I had no wide receiver tape, and I had DB tape, but I didn't have no wide receiver tape. So I went up there get some more film, get some more exposure, play against some more talent, some bigger talents, and kind of be in front of more college coaches' faces. And things. I like to say things worked out exactly how they're supposed to be because I ended up in the situation that I am now. But during that time, it kind of looked like I kind of wasted my time up there, which I didn't. It's just certain things didn't go the way it was, but CCSU ended up coming back around, and they ended up being my only offer that was on the table still, as far as D1 goes. And I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna just take this opportunity, and I'm gonna make the best out of it. And that's when I told myself, I'm gonna take this chance. I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna play as soon as possible. I'm gonna make an impact early and often, and I'm gonna earn everything that I deserve. So, and I just kind of held myself to that standard from the first time I stepped foot on that campus, and it's just been up ever since then. So that's kind of how that whole situation went. I'm grateful for it, but during the time, it was very stressful. Like it was very, very stressful for me. But I'm very grateful that I had to go through that. It kind of made me who I am today.
Yes, so I didn't have a similar situation in terms of athletics, but after I graduated CCSU, in terms of the job market, I had a similar, stressful situation where I felt like I had higher expectations for myself. Like, so I turned down my first offer and obviously took a gamble on myself, similar to what you did, and that tells me a lot about yourself. Like you have high expectations. You are willing to take a gamble on yourself because you know your worth, and that shows like you have a kind of a dog mentality when hitting the field. So you mentioned playing receiver, quarterback. Was the offer for CCSU for a corner or was it for a different position?
It was an athlete, so it was like
Okay.
I could play offense or defense, but I feel like I guess when I didn't know what I was actually going in there for until probably like a month before I got there.
Yeah.
So that's I guess they kind of made a decision like where they needed me to be most. I guess they had a lot of receivers. My freshman year, we had a whole bunch of receivers, and a lot of them were older guys. And I was like, you know what, coach, whatever's gonna get me on the field fastest, just put me there. And they was like, you know what, we're kind of light at corner, so I was like, so corner it is. So you know what I'm saying. So that once I got the news that I was gonna be playing corner, my training just went from trying to play both sides just to be ready at both sides, whatever may happen. Then once I got the call that I'll be a corner, I just went straight defense and just was going 2-3 a days and just making sure I locked in and was ultimately sharp as soon as I got there.
That alone shows that you're a team player because you're willing to step in where the team needed you most, and
Mm-hmm.
I respect it 100%.
Yes, sir.
You're muted. We can't hear you.
I said willing to do whatever the team needs you to do to win. That's obviously very important. But another question. I mean, due to your play, for those people that haven't like been able to see you play the game of football yet, who would you say your game resembles the most at cornerback?
I would like to say I like to think of myself. I got two people. I
Okay.
got prime Deion Sanders, and I got even though he plays offense, I got Odell.
Okay.
We actually share the same birthday, me and Odell, so I kind of see like a lot of similarities. But for prime for Deion, I love the way he had his confidence and his swagger with everything. It's just like there's no situation that he's not comfortable in. Like he has his money on himself like every single time against anybody, like no matter what. And it's so bad and everybody feels it to the point where the person that's kind of across from him kind of start to question themselves, like, am I even good enough to beat this guy? So he already, plays those mental games before pre-snap. So it's like, that's kind of like what I like to do, how I kind of approach the game too. I just have that, that swag when I'm just walking on the field where everybody just feels me. And I kind of feel like I attract a lot of attention just off of the way I carry myself when I'm on the field or even when I'm off the field. And so like I think I get that a lot from Prime, and I kind of admire the way he approached the game as far as even though he was this super swaggy, super, he might talk a little bit of junk or whatever the case may be, but he always did his homework. It was never nothing was sloppy with him. Like he did hours of film study, hours of, preparation to make sure that he was able to be that confident each and every Sunday. And I feel like that's kind of the way I approach it. Like I'm always watching film. Like I've been watching film. I haven't played in 2 years, going on 2 years, and I've probably watched so much film from 2019, from even before that, even just watching, the past spring season of that, the other FCS teams that were able to play. And I've just been, breaking everything down. And it's just, I love watching the game and things like that. And then I would say Odell also, just because that relentlessness, that kind of, he also has that swagger that just like attracts everybody to him. But on the same time, he just always, every time he's on the field, it just looked like he's playing with something to prove. And I feel like that's kind of how I also approach the game. Nobody really expected me to be this way, but I kind of made it my duty to, prove myself right, not to necessarily prove any doubters wrong, but to put all my energy into positive energy and prove myself right instead of trying to prove somebody wrong. And I feel like that's the way he approaches the game. And I feel like that's the way I also kind of approach the game. I go out there and I'm betting on myself every single time. And it's like, I think everybody, I think that's why so many people and so many coaches, they trust me because they know, like, I'm not gonna mess up, because I'm not gonna give you no signs that I'm unsure or that, stuff may get shaky, because no matter what situation I'm in, I always remain comfortable.
So that was interesting. I didn't expect you to say Odell, but from the two comparisons that you made, it just shows that you look at yourself as a playmaker. Just get the ball in your hand, and if the ball's not already in your hand, it's gonna find a way to be in your hand.
Right.
And because I know you play special teams, so that's a one part of the game where the ball is gonna get in your hand. Whereas corner, it's your job to go seek the ball and make sure it gets there. But you talked about the two players that you feel like resemble your game, and you talked about you being heavy on the film. So is there certain corners that you look and watch their film and try to emulate their game, or parts of their game?
Yeah, for sure. I like to watch a lot of corners that resemble my size. Corners could be tall, or corners could be shorter, but I like to watch, a lot of corners that are more my stature. So like the Jair Alexanders, Denzel Wards, and Tre'Davious Whites. A lot of the more shorter but still very technical corners I like to watch. I also admire Darrelle Revis, the way he was just able just to shut things down. He had his own island, the Revis Island, and just those type of corners that are able just to shut a whole side of the field down. It's like being corner is one thing to shut a man down, but it's another thing to shut a whole complete side of the field down. And I feel like it's not a lost art, but it's really rare for corners these days just to be able to shut a side of the field down and make a quarterback feel very uncomfortable just looking to whatever side you're on. And I feel like I kind of admire those type of corners that are very technical, very savvy, and very, instinctive with their game and their approach to the game. Like everything has a purpose. Like there's no extra steps, there's no false steps in their game. Like if you watch their film, everything is almost textbook. And I feel like those are the corners that I resemble myself a lot behind. But I also like to watch a couple of taller corners like Jalen Ramsey, of course, just the way he plays mind games. He's into the wide receiver's head before the ball is even snapped. He's talking trash, and he, believe it or not, he's just doing that to fuel himself. It's not really him trying to get in somebody else's head. He's really just fueling himself and just, kind of just giving himself his own juice just to be able to go out there and raise his own stakes just so that he could put pressure on himself. And I feel like I admire that too, because I like pressure. I love pressure. Like some people hate that pressure. Like pressure can either bust pipes or it could create diamonds. And for me, it definitely creates diamonds. So I love that pressure, and I adapt to it, and I like to bring it all in, give me all the pressure. That's just how I feel, and I feel like those corners are like the few corners that I really like to watch a lot.
And you talked about you not playing in 2 years, and you watching film a lot. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and so you're using that time wisely to obviously look at the film. But what besides film have you done to take advantage of the extended off season? You can call it due to COVID.
I feel like I've been training. I've been keeping up with my training even more. I feel like just because I never knew. Well, in the beginning of quarantine, we didn't know when we were going to be good to play or not. So
Yeah,
I was
exactly.
making sure that I was staying ready. But even throughout the whole thing, once everything was done, I was just more fine tuning instead of just going out there and just working. I'm more so now more detailed with my training. So I'm making sure each and every step makes sense and is the right way, just so that I could be way more technical than I was in 2019. Because honestly, I know for myself now, like if I watch my 2019 film, I'm be disgusted because it's like, bro, I was doing this wrong, I was doing that wrong, but nobody would understand it because like I was just making a lot of plays. But I feel like that's why this 2021 season is going to be so crazy for me because I just know like I'm way better than I was in 2019, and I feel like for some people that didn't take advantage of this quarantine, a lot of people were sitting on their behinds and kind of just letting time by and thinking they could just come out with that same 2019 2019 stuff. It's not happening. Do not bring that over to me because I'm gonna expose all of that, and you're gonna hear about it while I'm doing it. So I feel like that during quarantine, that's kind of what I focus myself on.
It seems like a big part of your game is very confidence driven, which I think is huge. I mean, for anybody that watches mine and Devin show, we're always talking about how confidence can change a lot in any
For
sport, and it
sure.
could change the outcome of games. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I like that part of your game. But when you look at yourself, I know you said there were things you watched on film. You were like, "Wow, I'm doing this completely wrong." And I mean, due to the confidence that you kind of carry with yourself, where people probably don't even realize it, like you said, but having taken that so much advantage of that extended off season, what part of your game do you want to improve on the most, or do you feel like you've improved on the most? That you feel like was something that you saw that you really needed to kind of take that next step.
I feel like I'm more technically sound, even though I was very technical in 2019. I'm like I've enhanced it even more to the point where everything is like very precise, and even not even just so much technically, like I'm more advanced now because I'm understanding route concepts way better. Like I'm understanding when two receivers come out, how are they aligned, and what are the possible route concepts that they may be running. Or I might just I look at the game way deeper than how I looked at it in 2019, where 2019 receivers just come out and I'll just go play my coverage, and I'll just, like, if the ball comes to me, then it comes to me. But if it doesn't, then I'll just make sure like I'm around the receiver. Whereas to now, I'm noticing route concepts and I'm predicting plays before they even happen. So I'm already a step ahead of the receivers and of the offense, to the point where I'm more so going to be able to bait quarterbacks even better than I was in 2019. And I feel like that's why this 2021 season is going to be crazy. I know I keep saying that, but I can really feel that because I've been doing my homework and I've really been putting in a lot of work and kind of trying to bring my game to the next level, just to show that, like I can play at the next level, and I will have an even better season than I did in 2019. And just that's kind of where I've been at with my work. I've just been trying to, be more advanced and kind of just play with the offense more. Try to figure out the offense and kind of figure out what how receivers run their routes to the point where I can make things look open when they're really not.
So I have a quick question.
Mhm.
We had your teammate Tyshawn James on the show, and we
Right.
mentioned to him with the quarterback transition that you guys are making with they're
Mm-hmm.
going to be a new quarterback under the helm. Your defense is ultimately what's going to lead the charge, and you guys were a really good unit in 2019. And pretty much every returner, everyone that started is returning this upcoming year, so they're going to lead the charge again. So I believe you when you say it's going to be a big year as a unit. I'm looking forward to see what you do as an individual, but with you having someone of Tyshawn's caliber on the offensive end, I know you go one on one with him at practice, but do you ever like try to pick his brain and see like what the receiver thinks on certain particular plays so that you can take advantage of it on game day?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. We both go back and forth and give each other tips on just like how to win on either side of the ball. So like I would definitely like when we're in practice, maybe like when we're doing special team stuff, we'll kind of meet up and kind of just talk about like our last reps and things like that and kind of what he did to kind of beat me or what I did to kind of get over on him, just to give each other tips because even though in practice we're essentially enemies or we're going against each other, we all know the real goal is to win games together and see each other at the next level. So whatever we could do to enhance each other's game and kind of give each other tools to be a better player, we both do that for each other. And as many times, there's been plenty of times, after practice, I'll just be watching film and I'll record the film and I'll be like, oh, yeah, Ty, yeah, you got me here. I like the way you did this, this, and this, or whatever. But, or I might come down and say, like, you know what? When you're doing your slant, make sure you carry it a little bit more to kind of make that DB believe that you're going for a goal and then snap it back down. Just to give each other tips just to be better. And I feel like that's why our relationship is the way it is because we understand where we both want to be and we both have similar mindsets as to who we want to be as people and as teammates.
I mean, I just from talking to both you and Tyshawn now, I see that both of you very good athletes, exude confidence. Is there any times in like practice where it might get a bit chippy or something?
Oh yeah. It always gets like that. I feel like anybody who comes to our practice, you know, even though we're friends off the field and things like that, we don't let up on each other when it comes to practice. Like we're out there trying to be as great as we can be individually. So even when we're out there, like we're still very physical with each other, and we're still at the end of the day, we're both still men we're both still playing football. So it's like that physicality, we don't dumb it down for each other because we know that's the only way we're gonna get each other better. And so like if anybody, I know a lot of people that like when news and stuff comes to the practices, like everybody who comes to our practice always notices just our competition is always like a highlight of the practice, every practice. So anytime we get those one-on-one matchups, I can feel it while I'm in play. Like everybody is looking at me right now. Like everybody is looking at me right now. This ball is coming to Ty right now. Like I got to make sure I'm on my stuff because I'm not going outside. He could go outside, but I'm not going outside. But nah, yeah, we always have that competitive nature, and I feel like as a team we have that competitive nature, and I feel like that's why we win so much as a team, just because it starts in practice. We're going against the best offense. They're going against the best defense. And we know on either side of the ball, we're not trying to lose. So a lot of times our defense is, we're banging with the offense. The offense line is banging with the D line and the linebackers and the running backs. Everybody's just banging a whole bunch of times. But it's good to have that on a football team, but it's also important to just be able to have that and then come back to the locker room with those same group of guys and just everybody still be cordial and understanding that, what we have a way bigger goal than just to be out here fighting with each other. It's a lot of testosterone and we're all men, so we're all alpha dogs and everybody wants to be the top dog. But at the end of the day, we have to understand what the main goal is and just keep the main thing the main thing.
Yeah.
It's perfect transition right here because you just mentioned goals. So
Mm-hmm.
now
Okay.
my question to you is, what are your goals, your personal goals for yourself this upcoming season, and then
Mm-hmm.
what are your team goals, for the team?
My personal goals for this upcoming season, I want to be able to I want to be able to get 8 picks individually for myself. And for some people that may seem high, but 2019 I had 6 and I didn't reach my goal. My goal was actually 7 in 2019, but I want to bump it up to 8 just because I know that I'm capable of doing that. Tackles wise, I think I want to go 35 total tackles. I mean, for corner, it's not really likely of us to have a whole bunch of tackles. Like, you know, if we're tackling a lot, that means something's wrong with our defense. You know what I'm saying? Because we're usually the last line of defense. So 35 tackles should be very solid. And this is all just regular season. This is without playoffs alone. PBUs, I don't really like to put a cap on PBUs because I'd rather take the ball than, you know, just knock it down. I like to get off the field. I don't want to stay on the field. Usually if you get off.
You can't put a cap on PBUs because you want as much PBUs as you can if you're not getting the actual interception.
Exactly. Usually when you get an offense a second chance, they actually end up doing something good right after it. So I'd rather just take them off the field when the ball is in it, when the opportunity presents itself. TFLs, I want to go for 5 TFLs, and I also want to get 2 to 3 forced fumbles, and then I want to also be able to return five returns for touchdowns. I want 3 punt returns and 2 kickoff returns, and those are.
And what about the team? What is
your goals for the team? Goals for the team is obviously an undefeated season. I know everybody sees that Miami game on our schedule and kind of looking like, how you gonna do that? But they said the same thing when we played Eastern Michigan, and I know that's not the same. That's not the same thing. And we lost to Eastern Michigan in 10 seconds off a blocked field goal. A very unfortunate event. But you know, I never go into a game thinking I'm gonna lose. And like you said before, with confidence is what drives me. Confidence is what gets me up in the morning. Confidence is what makes me do what I do every day. And just to be able to say that I can do something and I believe in myself that I can do something is just the first step of everything. So having that undefeated season, being able to go down to Miami and shock the world would definitely be a major highlight. But yeah, having an undefeated season and then actually making a very strong playoff run is another big goal for me. And I also want to give us another number one defense, be the number one defense in the FCS again, you know, and that goes for defense total and also leading the FCS in interceptions again. And I want to be able to lead the FCS in interceptions as another personal goal. But yeah, for a team, that's probably my team goals. And for the offense, obviously, have them be the number one offense in the FCS. You know, I kind of have high standards for everybody, and I feel like having those higher standards just forces everybody to compete and work that much harder to live up to those expectations. So I have high standards for myself and for my team this upcoming season. There's no doubt in my mind that we can't fulfill each and every goal. If I felt like we couldn't do it, then I wouldn't have said it. So I feel like we can do each and everything that we put our mind to, and whatever we want to do, we're capable of doing it.
And so first off, I want to say you mentioned the Miami game, and I'm happy you mentioned it because that's the game that I immediately look to, not because I'm interested to see how you guys pan out, but it's an opportunity for you guys to go up against a top a top program in the nation, and it allows you to put your name out there. And coming from FCS, you know, it's D1 AA, but it's not as big as these other programs that the NFL looks at. So it allows you to put your name out there and put some tape. So I'm confident that you guys can go out there and shock the world. But now I'm just excited to see you guys go out there and do it. So I'm happy you brought that up. And it's funny that you mentioned the 6 interceptions. Or not you having 6 interceptions and you not meeting your goal. Mm-hmm. And your goal was actually 7. The reason why it's funny they mentioned it is because you actually led the conference with 6 interceptions. So the fact that you led the conference and it still wasn't enough for you just is it shows how competitive you are and critical you are in yourself. Like you mentioned, you have high standards for not only yourself but your teammates. which just shows the kind of player you are and the kind of person you are, which leads to greatness. So I'm excited to see what you do this upcoming season. It seems like you're bound for really, really good things.
Appreciate that.
And I mean, just to really quickly touch on it. I mean, just from speaking to you, like, again, do you exude the confidence? But I feel like that's not for a reason. I mean, you talk about the work that you're putting in. I mean, so there's a reason that you have that confidence in yourself. Is because you know that you're actually putting that work and that it takes to kind of do the things and the goals that you set for yourself. And it seems
Right.
like, from speaking to Tyshawn as well, like, it seems to be like something that's kind of contagious on your team, which is really good for, such the high standards that you guys kind of set for yourself. But individually, in your own words, what is it that you think is the best thing you bring to a team?
I think everything that we just talked about stems from confidence. Like, that's one word that I will always carry with me, no matter what it is that I'm doing in life. I have the ultimate confidence in myself, to the point where it looks like I'm cocky, but I'm really not cocky. Like, I'm a very humble dude, but I'm just overly confident in myself, and I feel like I have the ability to do whatever I want and whatever I put my mind to. And I feel like that energy kind of stems off into the locker room, just the way I carry myself. And when I'm talking to people, when I'm talking to my teammates, I kind of make them feel like they can do anything, just the way I'm talking to them, just because that's how I approach everything in life. Confidence is what I mirror myself off of, just to be able to go out there and just to think to yourself that, what, I can get this done, even though, like, the odds may seem very thin, chances may be very slim. As long as there's a chance, then then I have a very good opportunity of getting it done. Because if the chances don't say 0-0, then I have an opportunity to get it done. Like, I feel like I'm that 1% in a lot of situations, to where, when things don't seem like they're likely, I make things kind of look more capable than they actually are. And I feel like that's kind of that swagger that I carry throughout the locker room and carry around the players, and they kind of feed off of that, and they kind of start to feel themselves like, what, Dex think he could do this, ain't nothing he could do, then what's stopping me from being able to do something, And I feel like I love that about who I am, and how my team has been able to adapt to who I am, just to be able to rub that off. And they carry that same confidence, so it's like they don't look at there's no opponent that we look at and we're like, I don't know if we're gonna win this one. It's like, we're here the same way that they're here. We bleed the same way. They just have a different color jersey than us, and that's all it is.
It's
And
contagious, man.
yeah, so I feel like that's probably the biggest trait that kind of everybody feeds off from me, and I appreciate that.
I mean, make me feel like I'm about to get on that field, throwing some pads in the jersey, yo.
Sure.
So before, I told you we're gonna ask you some tough questions to end the interview off. So we're about to get into the tough questions, but before we get into the tough questions, my goal for you this upcoming season, because you did make first team sophomore All-American, or you were named first team sophomore All-American, and you were all Northeast Conference second team. So my goal for you is to make that first team.
Yeah, for sure.
First team, and then
that was very political.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna come out here and say that 2019 was very political, and I've seen it all. But I'm gonna let it go ahead. But yeah, that's also another goal of mine, though, to be All-American on all sites, just All-American again, just to be able to do that again. That's another goal of mine that I left out.
Those are my expectations for you. Just from the work that you put in this off season, and from speaking with you, you seem to have your eyes on the prize, and obviously make that jump from your sophomore campaign to your junior campaign. And obviously, we talked off the camera. You're a redshirt junior, not a junior. So you got another year of eligibility under your belt due to COVID. So that's just another opportunity for you to go out there and put on the show. But now it's time for the tough questions.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Oh, let me take a sip of water.
All right, I'll start you off light. Outside of football, what's your biggest hobby?
Collecting shoes. I love to collect shoes. I love to different shoes. You know, what you would call a sneakerhead. I'm not a hype beast though. I like what I like, and I go after whatever I like. I have been losing a lot in on the sneakers app, and I'm not very
Yeah,
proud.
but
I
listen,
haven't won at
I
all
feel
this
like
year.
everybody's losing. So who's winning?
I haven't won at all this year.
all the people with bots are winning. I'm telling you. Look, I'm a fellow sneakerhead myself, and I kind of gave up at some point. Now I'm like you. I like what I like, and I'll just go after what I like. So I'll nitpick instead of just buying everything like I used to. But the sneakers app is terrible. They need to
Terrible. And I'm
remake
not
it.
doing a resale. Resale market is out of pocket. I'm not doing it. So if I miss out on it, I'll come back to it when it comes to me.
It's the resellers that are winning on the sneakers app.
Yeah, like what
To be honest though, I got lucky on the Hyper Royals. I got lucky. They gave me
did?
exclusive. They gave me exclusive access on them, so I was able
Oh,
to get. That's the
I
only
got the
reason why I
UNC
won.
one.
Okay.
I got the UNC ones, the ones, but I didn't get that from sneakers. I got that from a friend of mine.
I used to work at Finish Line, so like basically my sophomore and junior year of college, I worked at Finish Line, but I gave up on that. But I do miss the discount. The discount was lovely.
Oh,
But so Jovan, you want to follow up with the
That
second question?
this is gonna be a real tough one. But what are three songs that are a must on your pregame playlist?
ooh, geez, three, only three.
Only
Uh,
three.
Dude, hold on. Let me go to my phone. Cause cause right now, you know that G Herbo just dropped. So I don't think I've listened to anything else other than Lil Baby and Lil Durk recently. Like those is the three people that I've been listening to. But I'll probably say, geez, yo, how am I gonna do three? Let me see. Okay. I need Lying by Lil Baby and Lil Durk. That's on their new joint. Um, what's the song? Um, what's that? Oh, Green Light by Lil Durk. That's gonna turn the whole locker room up. That's gonna turn the whole locker room into a freaking chaos. Like that's what we gotta listen to. And then I gotta throw some Herb in there. Hold on. What Herb song? What Herb song? I'll probably say, dang, bro, I can't do this.
He's like, I don't want to leave
Yo,
one of these songs off here.
yeah, this is too hard. Hold on, let me see.
I told you these were gonna be some tough
Nah,
questions.
yeah, for sure. I want to. I go with Who Run It. Who Run It remix by G Herbo. I'll go with that one. That's a safe call. I know I'm leaving out. I know that's. I'm gonna have to get some more stuff in there, but I'll go
All
with
right,
that. Those three.
all right, I got you. So I'm gonna move the number up from 3 to 4. Right. So
Okay.
now you got a little bit more room for leeway. So who would be your personal Mount Rushmore of athletes?
Okay. Nah, this ain't even that bad. Throwing Braun on there. I'm throwing Mike on there. MJ. I'm throwing. Shoot, dang, it is hard. Um, I'm throwing Prime on there, and then nah, I can't leave Bean out. I'm going Kobe. I gotta go Kobe. Gotta go Mamba mentality.
You got two Kobe fans right
I
here. So
respect that. Definitely.
we definitely won't hate on that selection.
Not at all.
I don't know about anyone else watching, but I respect that for sure. So I don't know, Jovan. Do you want to move the number up from 4 to 5?
No. I'm gonna go a little easier. I'm gonna go a little easier for this one. We're gonna go back to a little bit on the playing field. If you could intercept any NFL QB, who would that be?
Aaron Rodgers.
Is-
Absolutely, no question.
Is
Aaron
it because you got like a vendetta against him, or you just are fan?
Rodgers. He's one of those quarterbacks that likes to pick on people, and I feel like if I was on the same field as him, I would be the person he wants to pick on. So if you want to go ahead and try your chances against me, I'm gonna make you pay, and I'm gonna tell you about it while I'm doing it too. But now Aaron Rodgers for sure, and I know he probably gonna throw it to Devontae Adams, so who is a very good receiver. So I just know like I'm gonna have that's just more pressure. Like I just love that pressure. So I just know Aaron Rodgers is gonna apply that pressure. Like there's a lot of good quarterbacks in the league, but I feel like Aaron Rodgers really like he try to expose DBs as much as possible.
So that seems more like a sign of respect. You
Yeah.
kind of respect
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers as
Yeah,
I respect that.
for
That
sure.
makes sense.
For sure.
I just had to ask because the way you came off, I had to just we
No,
needed
because
confirmation.
everybody asks me that. Everybody asks me that, and I want the top dog every time. I would want Brady for sure. For sure, I would want Brady, but I feel like not that I feel like Aaron Rodgers is better than Brady. I just feel like Aaron Rodgers is more like he wants to expose somebody more than Brady wants to expose somebody. So
I
I
don't
feel like
know the way Brady was exposing Kevin King in the NFC Championship.
nah, for sure. That was very bad.
Yeah.
Kevin King exposed himself. He exposed himself. That was just very bad.
All right, I'll throw you another lob before we move the number up to 5. All right. So if you
Okay.
could jersey swap with any NFL player, who would it be?
I'll probably say Odell. I just feel like we like the same person sometimes. Like when I be watching his videos and stuff, I'll be like, yo, this dude think the same way as like I think. Like I'll probably jersey swap with Odell.
So you're gonna walk up to him like, "Yo, we share the same birthday. Give me your jersey." Or what?
That sound more too groupie-ish. Like I feel like when it comes to jersey swap, that's something like we talk about while we're playing. Like yo, like if I'm like I feel like I'm one of them ones like I ain't like no little dude because I don't want to go up to somebody like you trying to
Yeah.
jersey swap and he like who are you like I'm not giving you my jersey. So I
But
feel like
you
during
have
the
to
game,
pay for it. So you gotta pitch him on it. Like, yo, screw
yeah,
that
so
other guy. I share the same birthday as you, bro. Just show love.
Nah,
That's
he
it.
about he
You
about to lock
know?
he about to lock Odell up first and then be
yeah,
like, now
No, I'm
you
talking
gotta
about.
give me that jersey.
I'm gonna be locked up. Yeah, I need that jersey after the game too. I need that. He probably gonna be like, man, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Come to him after the game, man. Come on, what's up with that? Yeah, let me get that. Okay.
Respect it. We're two Giants fans, so we loved Odell when he was in New
Yeah.
York. It
Oh,
sucked to see him go. So I'm still a fan of his, even though he's not in New York. But I would love to have him come back if the
Yeah.
opportunity arises.
Dev, I love
word.
Odell too. It's my first original NFL jersey, so I still got that. But now for probably the toughest question that we've had all day for you. Who is your
Let's get
top 5 corners in the league right now?
top 5 in the league right now. You gotta go Jalen Ramsey, number 1. Got to. Jalen Ramsey. No order though, but Jalen Ramsey is definitely number 1. No order for the rest of them. Jalen Ramsey, Stephon Gilmore,
He's stressing.
Jair Alexander. No order, no order.
Yep.
Tre'Davious White. Oh, shoot. I'm forgetting the leader, Xavier Howard. Oh. Yeah, I'll go Xavier Howard.
All
Number
right.
5. Hold on. I still feel like I'm forgetting somebody.
You're forgetting a few people, but you only got 5
Man,
spots.
oh yeah, I don't got no more spots. But who are some other people that I'm not thinking of?
Marlon Humphrey, James Bradbury.
And Denzel wore honorable mention.
You got Denzel. Yep. And then you might have got him, but you got a few people missing. but I just can't remember.
I think that's a solid 5, though. I think
It is a solid fight.
That's
I'm not
definitely a
arguing that.
solid 5. Yeah, yeah.
I respect it because
Hey,
I'm happy you put some respect on Xavier Howard because people don't necessarily give him the love that he definitely deserves.
11 picks is hard to get, no matter how they come in. Like, you're in the NFL, 11 picks is crazy. Like, that's
okay, and like we tell the people who watch our show, if they don't like your 5 and they want to take somebody out, they got to replace them with somebody, and they got to tell us why that person is
why.
better. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So that's your 5. That's a solid 5, though, for sure.
So in the comments, drop your top 5 corners.
Your 5 ain't messing with my 5. If you want to
Oh,
put your 5 against my 5, drop it in the comment with
all
an
right.
explanation.
So I got another person that you forgot, Marshawn Lattimore.
Oh, Marshawn, he been too streaky. He ain't been that inconsistent. I'm an Ohio State fan, but he just been inconsistent.
Oh, so
He
you
been
got a
Good.
fellow Ohio State fan right there.
Ohio State Buckeye fan.
Yeah, you know, BIA, you know what I'm saying? We don't do that number one. We don't do that DVU junk no more. We do BIA.
Yeah.
So I'm a UGA fan, so I'm over here,
Okay.
just waiting for my opportunity. We had a few opportunities,
Eric Cook,
and we had a few
Eric
opportunities, and we failed. So that was very heartbreaking as a fan. Hopefully they can make it up to me in the future. So
Eric
say it again.
Stokes might be y'all guy. Eric Stokes, he might do solid in the league. Eric Stokes.
Oh, I believe him because he's definitely a speedster. So we got a few young bucks because we got Tyson Campbell over there too. I think he'll do something. But so we got one more tough question for you. But it's not really a tough question. But it's if you had a message for any upcoming athlete, what would it be?
Message for any up and coming athlete. Just if you watch this, you probably heard us say this plenty of times. Just have ultimate confidence in yourself. There's nothing in this world that you can't do, that you can't put your mind to, if you put your mind to. The world is yours. Everybody has the same 24 hours. It's all about how you use yours. Opportunity, take advantage of every opportunity that comes your way, because you never know. You always want to stay ready because you never know when that opportunity may come. So I feel like as an upcoming athlete or upcoming, superior player, just always be on top of your game and always stay ready for that right now moment, because you don't know when it's coming. And I feel like it's important that you use your time very wisely, because time is the only thing that's against everybody in this world, because it keeps on ticking and it's in favor of nobody. So like that will be my main message, is just be overly confident in yourself and take advantage of every opportunity that approaches you.
Respect. So to end off the show, me and Jovan both want to thank you for your time and obviously taking the time out of your day to join us and have this interview. It was a pleasure having you on the show. And lastly, like, where can the people find you on social media?
You can find me at Dex Lawson Jr. on all platforms, Twitter, Instagram. My snap is Dex Lawson 5, but you don't gotta add my snap. But nah, yeah. Definitely got some more things coming on the way as this, whole NIL thing is approaching. I'm starting up my real actual personal business and stuff like that. It's still in the works, so I can't really release anything yet. And I'm still working on a few deals with a few small businesses and things like that. But yeah, Dex Lawson Jr. on Twitter and Instagram. You can follow me, reach out to me, whatever the case may be. I appreciate everybody that comes along the way, and just watch my journey and just is a part of the process. Like I appreciate everything, and I appreciate you guys for having me on here. I do got a question for y'all though.
That's fine.
But yeah, y'all can reach me on that type of stuff. But my question to y'all is, how y'all come up with the name?
That's funny as hell.
So the name was, so the funny thing is the way we came up with the podcast, the idea of the podcast. Jovan actually came up to me because we've been friends since middle school. So we've been best friends since middle school. We actually became friends playing flag football at our middle school after school, and with the name, because I love talking sports. So he when he brought the idea up, I was like, you know what, might as well. I enjoy it already. But with the name, we were thinking other names at first, but then I was like, we got to stand out. There's a way. There needs to be a way for us to stand out, and
Okay.
to be honest, he gave me free, creativity. He was like, you know what? I'm tired of this. I'm going to bed. Tell me in the morning. So I was like, got you. I swear to God, I stood up to probably 2 in the morning just staring at my phone, thinking of names. And I was like, balls in basketball, balls in football, balls in baseball. And then if we're talking about UFC, because we talk about UFC, there's no balls, but guys got some balls. So I was like, all right, balls deep. That's it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Okay.
kind of just went. And the funny thing is, every time when we first started and we started promoting it, everyone seemed to love the name. And that's what I like, is because it helps us stand out. And I don't know if you listen to our song, but even got a song. It talks about balls deep,
Check it out. Yeah.
which is catchy. So it allows people to remember us. And that's honestly the main reason why we came up with the name. But
We're just trying to have fun, you know what I mean? So
yeah,
Yeah, for
it's the
sure.
biggest thing, man.
yeah, when people try to come on the pod, and yeah, we want you to be serious here and there, but we want to obviously our name's Balls Deep. So you coming in, you just here to have fun. That's honestly what we're here for. Just be yourself, and obviously give your sports opinion or what have you. So that we respect you for asking that question, because it definitely was interesting.
Nah, yeah, for sure. It was funny when I first see it. I was like, what the? But it gives that. I think that's what y'all looking for. Y'all looking for people to kind of like. It's not a
Yeah,
regular
exactly.
podcast. Not a regular name that you just hear every day. It's something that's gonna stand out to you. You're like, hold on, wait, what? And then you kind of. That's when you kind of start diving in, kind of start seeing what you guys are about. So I see where you guys coming from, and I feel like y'all achieved y'all goal in that with that
Yeah,
name.
and when you rewatch this interview, you'll hear our jingle in the beginning and the end. So, you'll definitely see why I mean it was catchy. But we appreciate you. And when you announce your business, we follow you on on Instagram. We'll definitely share it on our platform, on our profile as well, so that our fans can go show love if they don't already follow you. So we're supporting you uh, from here on out. We're here with you along the journey, and Jovan and I are going to catch the CCSU game this upcoming season. Now that fans are
Man,
allowed,
hoping to
so
catch a few, bro.
yeah. So
So let's pack a
hopefully,
root. Let's pack a root.
hopefully we can connect when we do attend the games. I already told Jovan we're in that James gang, their tailgate.
Oh
I was
yeah.
there. I was working. I worked in athletics with Big Mike. So
Mm-hmm.
I know what they're about, what they're tailgating, but we're in there. We're in there. So
Yeah, for
uh,
sure, for sure, for sure. Got
they
to.
show love. So that's definitely something that we're looking forward to. So we got to make sure to connect with you and Tyshawn when we show up.
For sure. I'll be looking forward to coming out this season. We're gonna pack a root. And for all the fans that's watching, if you are around, come out to a root, come watch a game, come watch us kill. And it's something great to be a part of.
For
Yeah.
sure. Kaiser to be running up and down the
Mm-hmm.
stands. So
Yeah.
you gotta respect it.
Yes,
But
sir.
we appreciate you for coming on. For the fans, if you don't go follow him, we're fighting. That's it. So,
For real.
go show love to him, to Tyshawn, and all the future athletes that we plan on interviewing, uh, or we end up interviewing. Go follow them. Go show love. That's it. And until next time, peace.
Not yeah, bro. Appreciate you being here, man.
Yeah, for
You know what I
sure.
mean?
Appreciate y'all.
Be with Dex Lawson, cornerback from C. He will be a 2023 prospect, I believe. 2023 NFL prospect. Um, shouts out to him. As always, we appreciate him taking time out of his day to come and talk to us and just answer a few questions. Allow us as well as our viewers to get to know him not only as a player, but as a person. Obviously, you guys seen from this interview what kind of person he is. Very humble, very confident guy. That see that after talking to him and as well as his teammates, Hyshawn James, there's this, and it seems like they're, the mindset over there at CCSU is contagious. So obviously, being from Connecticut is pretty dope. But yeah, just want to thank him and say, appreciate his time. Go show love to him on his social medias. We will be dropping it in the description. He did mention where we can find him, but we'll put it in the description for you guys to find him as well. So as always, show him some love and so that he knows, the Boss Deep fam's got his back, and so we appreciate it as always. And that's it for today. Deuces.
You're talking about balls deep. I'm talking about balls deep. We're talking about balls deep in love. I'm talking about balls deep. My boy's talking about balls deep. We're talking about balls deep in love.